Namato Ratanatayasa. May I pay homage to Triple Gem, the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. My respect goes to my parents and my teachers. Hello, good evening, everyone. So today is Thursday, the 27th of August, 2020. So this is Achan Sujan from Varapunya Meditation Center, Aberdeen, Scotland. As usual, I'm with you tonight. Hello Gautam, Margaret, Karina, and everyone. And I hope you're all having a wonderful time and wrapping yourself since the cold weather is coming and it's like a winter is just creeping in. And now even at 9 o'clock it's so dark compared to 2 months ago. 11 o'clock is still so bright and you can go around and wonder, but now it's so dark very early. And but today this time, if you look at our garden, you see two deers wandering as well. Beautiful to look at. A mother deer with the baby deer. So it's wonderful. And also weather is getting cold, however, but hey ho, and this is a time of preparation. And we are also having a preparation for the winter. Yesterday we had a chimney sweeping and checking our stove. So, and probably next month we will have this flushing all the heating system and installing the device that controls the heat in the center. So this has been a project since last year, but due to the COVID-19 we haven't done it this year yet, despite we have got the quotations and people to do it. Hopefully we will have it next month. So this is just another small information regarding the center. Further information is that this coming Monday we will have Mindful Mondays at 12:30 on a Zoom. And the password and ID is available on our website, or just text me if you couldn't find it. Further on 12 September we will have a special Dhamma talk on the meditation and what is it for and what are the benefits in this modern world, which is going to give by Professor Dr. Hansa from Mahachulalongkorn Buddhist University from Thailand. This is also going to be on a Zoom, and I will try my best to upload on a Facebook as well. And if you join the Zoom, then there will be opportunity to ask questions if there are any. Further, on the 4th of October we will have the Katina ceremony, which is our annual Katina robe offering ceremony. But because of the coronavirus, we have to take the registrations of anyone who comes, or probably we may have to have this registration before anyone coming to the center, registering that how many of you coming to the center, just to keep everyone in the list, so anything happens then can be informed to everyone who attended the ceremony. So, and this this Sunday also there will be a talk from this Thai in Thai language. Though there will be a talk by one of the venerable monks from Thailand as well at the 9 o'clock in the morning. So these are some of the informations. And one more thing, if anyone knows where to buy a gazebo or the marquee 5 by 10 meters or any expertise around, you can guide me which kind of and what kind of a marquee is best. I've been looking at online, reading the descriptions about it, so I'm planning to buy one marquee for the event. So if you have any knowledge about it, or if you know anywhere we can get it best price, then please let me know. So this is the information about the center and what's going on. And all monks are so far well, and I'm also feeling better, and hopefully I have no need to go to see the doctor for any medications. So this is me. Okay, right. Let's go to our topic of the day, and this is the continuation of our previous talks on the basis of the first discourse of the Buddha, which is Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, and we have discussed different aspects of Buddha's teachings on the basis of this sutta and I also discuss in this sutta the Four Noble Truths, Eightfold Noble Path, and we are on this Eightfold Noble Path, the fourth factors, which is the right action. And it's been about 3 or 4 days I've been talking about the right action in the first components, which is not to kill. And what is the difference between the first precepts of the 5 precepts and Eightfold Noble Path, not to kill. And in that as well, I think I have mentioned in the 5 precepts, when I was giving about the 5 precepts, that not to kill basically means a practice of a loving kindness, and this loving kindness practice is one of the very important factors in Buddhism, and this been a part of it. So that's why whenever monks visiting or monks giving blessings, normally we chant the metta verses, discourses. Oh, Sarala, thank you very much. It would be good to have one. Thank you. So you don't have to buy then, if you can deliver it to the center here, or even I can come and get you if you cannot drive down here. Thank you very much, Sarala. Okay, so in the blessing chantings, normally Buddhist monks will chant. Most of the chantings are on the basis of metta chanting or the loving kindness. Let's say the Karaniya Metta Sutta, which is again almost all the discourses describing the metta, about the loving kindness and how one should practice loving kindness in that discourse. And again further there is a Mora Sutta, Vata Sutta, and these are also based on the metta chanting or the practice of a loving kindness. So a lot about the loving kindness. And then the loving kindness practice, sometimes people think that it is thinking about others mostly, and which is much easier compared to thinking about own self and sharing to own self. But in a practice of a loving kindness, according to the Buddha's advice, first of all we have to share to ourselves, and gradually we are sharing to the rest of other beings, other people. And here again, when we talk about the rest of other people, then we are not sharing it to someone who is we dislike, or someone who we displease. we have to start off from the neutral person, or even not to the opposite sex either, because when we're thinking about the opposite sex, it may generate the lust and sexual desire. And that's why also not suitable to share loving kindness for the opposite sex to begin with. So that's why should be someone who we respect and neutral. Whenever we think of those persons, then the kindness just develops, loving kindness just develops. So we have to practice in that way, and gradually from the loved ones, and then gradually to the same sex, and someone who is disliked, or one who is causing a trouble to us, like that. And I remember a few years ago, I think I have mentioned this story as well in one of the talks on the metta chanting or metta practice, that a few years ago when I was teaching a meditation, and that was just after the Paris attack. And the person, he said that it is so difficult to share loving kindness or practice of loving kindness to those people, those who have killed so many people in Paris at that time. And then my suggestion was try not to share loving kindness to them to begin with, but we have to share from ourselves, and then gradually extending from someone who we love, and then gradually extending to someone who we do not like, or someone who has caused trouble. So in that way, and again there is a sense of an unconditional love. So conditional love is basically we have the sense of, I give you a love, or I give you affection, you should give me back something. That kind of a love is known as a condition, and mostly it is it's like a lustful love, basically. And I love you, so you have to give something. In that way is a condition. And whereas unconditional love is something that you love without any further reasons or expectations at all. And in the practice of this, what is a suggested that first of all we have to accept our past deeds or ourselves, and not holding on to ourselves. So this basically means that we have to practice the unconditional love to ourselves first, before we learn to practice the unconditional love to anyone else. And that we can do by accepting our past and forgetting or forgiving ourselves anything that we have done that might have caused any troubles to us, or any difficulties that brought to us. And with that, so forgetting and basically accepting what it is, what we are. And with this, we will be able to extend to the unconditional love to anyone else, that we simply wish them to be happy, wish them to be well, wish them to be in a good state, an ability to attain the liberation, and that is the unconditional love. But it will take a long journey. It will take a lot of practice. So that's why we have to practice it almost every day, if possible every day, at least of verbally speaking or verbally sharing this loving kindness to someone, or unconditional love to anyone and all the beings. And then every time when you are acting, or every time when you are speaking, even thinking about anyone else, simply you are speaking with kindness. It's called speaking with metta, and this way You are basically sending your good wish or goodwill to other beings without expecting anything. And this is possible to develop only when we realize that we feel hurt when someone says, someone does to us. At the same time, we feel fear of if someone hits you, or if someone caused you something that makes you fear. And similarly, understanding that whatever we do to others, they also feel in that way. They also feel fear, they also feel the punishment, they also feel the death like that. And with that, the kindness, this unconditional love just simply develops. I remember when I was just going to the temple, in early days when I was going to Buddhist temple, there was one hymn. Normally the group of people recites with the music instruments, which is very famous in Nepal. It's called Gyanmala Bhajan. So it's a devotional songs, and every temples they have this devotional song groups, and people will be gathering and singing this devotional songs based on moral values and the history of Buddha's life history, Buddha's teachings in that way. And one of the hymns or songs that was written by very well-known gentleman who came from my same village. I think he's still alive, and he has written so many poems on the Buddha's teachings. And he said that okay, let me think how to translate it in English. He said that one who is not practicing a kindness, he normally forgets that how painful if you cut your own fingers, or if you cut on legs. But rather than thinking of that pain, people are so cruelly engaging in killing others without thinking that they have their mother, they have their sisters, they have their brothers and relatives and like that. So the very moment when we take that as even a small cut, how deeply can hurt us, we will not be committing any cruelty or any harming any beings, but we simply practice the loving kindness. And this is, as I said yesterday, this mental state. If we become mindful and practicing for meditation, once you have been practicing meditation, you will be able to see that those mental state and how it is affecting our body and how much it's affecting our mental state. It's very easy to watch, and how this change takes place within your mental state. And this is basically you internalizing yourself to see yourself. And with this, there will be no conditioning love to yourself and then to the others, but there will be a pure unconditional love, appreciating your own self, that how precious life that we have got, and we will be using this time for good and a benefit of own and other people, and we will not be violating by taking any substance that destroys our physical body and our life, but we simply use it for the good and a benefit, and skillfully appreciating this presence. In the meanwhile, we will be appreciating others' presence, others' support, and how the world is interconnected. We are not projecting ourselves in a state that I am the best, I am the better, the rest is there to serve me, like that. So in this way, we will be developing or cultivating this so-called the unconditional love to everyone, simply hoping everyone will be free from all the sufferings, because we have seen that this body or our life is fragile and it's not for a long time, and once the time comes when we have to leave. So knowing this uncertainty and suffering, we also able to channel that state of the mind to others. When you are able to channel this state of the mind to the others, connecting with them, and that moment, not only the kindness that you have developed, but also the unconditional love that you wish them to be happy, you wish them to be free from any troubles that they are going through. And there you have nothing, you don't expect anything in return from it, but simply there is a full of kindness and compassion generated and projecting towards them, and hoping them to be free from it and attain the liberation. And that's one of the qualities that the Buddha had. That's why in front of the Buddha statue, normally in general case, you will see the 3 incense are lit, and all the 3 incenses are basically representing Buddha himself. So the first incense is the purity of the Buddha, the quality is the purity of the Buddha, and the second is his compassionate, and the third is his knowledge. So these 3 qualities are spread regardless of a caste, regardless of boundaries. It will spread to all. Similarly, the incense, once you lit it up, the smell of incense will travel to everywhere, anywhere. And then there is a Dhammapada gathas there, indicating that when you lit the incenses, the smell will travel to everyone, and still it will go along the wind, whereas the purity, compassion, and the wisdom of the Buddha, or one who has got, or one who has attained it, it will spread, no boundaries, and it doesn't need conditioned by the wind. It will spread to all around. So that's why the compassionate, or kindness and compassion, is a part of the Buddha's quality, and that we have to develop within ourselves. And that can be developed once we have understood that how painful it is to harm ourselves and then also harming others, and understanding and appreciating our presence, how deep, how important this is, this life is, so we can perfect our perfection to be the Buddha. So similarly, hoping that the rest of other beings also able to attain and free from the sufferings, and attain the ultimate goal, the liberation, the Nibbana, like that. So this is also part of this Eightfold Noble Path, on this right action, and which is the physically not committing any harmful or state of cruelty, but promoting the kindness and peace and harmony within ourselves and then within the community. So that is the further explanation on these 4th factors of Eightfold Noble Path, and on this first component of not to kill. And this is a little bit of a more deeper into how we are interconnected and what we should be practicing to develop the connectedness, and not just the connectedness, but also the kindness and compassion that one has to develop, and that again, not a conditional but an unconditional kind and a compassion or a love that help us to be free from this world of samsara, and also the world attainment of this Nibbana. Okay? So I offer this as tonight's reflection on the same topic of a component of this not to kill for tonight. And thank you everyone for listening, and with this, may you all be well and happy, and take care. May the Buddha Dhamma Sangha bless you. In a few moments time we will have the evening chanting and guided meditation. You are most welcome to join with us. And as usual, again, I have tried my best to upload on a YouTube, so in case you miss any talks, you can go back to the YouTube and listen those talks as well. Right, until then, we'll see you shortly, and take care. Good night. Satu.